Hello Peaches! So today I'm going to do the adult Q&A, and I didn't really ask you guys to do this, but not so long ago I asked you guys to ask me just any question in the world, and a few of you guys actually asked quite a lot of 18+ related questions, so I decided just to do, you know, a part 1 and a part 2 of that Q&A. So part 1 I already uploaded, it's just with normal random questions, and then I decided to save the adult question for this video because I do want to separate it. I'm not a big fan of answering adult question in a random Q&A because, you know, I don't know. I just like to have things in order, and I like for all my adult stuff to be in one playlist, and I don't know, it makes sense to me, alright? So I'm really happy that you guys asked me so many questions though, because that, you know, made it possible for me to make 2 videos instead of just 1. I'm not going to say who asked these questions, by the way, just like, you know, in my other Q&As I recently started, you know, saying the name of the person asking the questions, but I'm not going to do it in the 18+ because it is, you know, a kind of a different topic. A lot of people might not want people to know that they watch these kind of videos, I don't know. So I'm not going to say the username of the people who ask these questions. So I'm just going to answer them. One of the questions is actually really old that I just completely forgot, and I just thought about it now, so I'm going to read that first so I don't forget it again. So yeah, that question is just like, have I ever used a sex swing, and if I haven't, would I ever do it? And I haven't used a sex swing, and would I do it? Probably. It does sound kind of cool. I kind of like the idea of some of the sex swings out there. They do seem kind of cool. It's not something that I'm like, I need to try this, I must try this. But it could be kind of cool. I am kind of interested. So if I one day get a partner who has one, or if I one day find one that's cheap and my partner is up for it, then why not? Then the next question is, would you like to dress in cosplay while having sex? And no, I don't think so, because to me cosplay is not something like sexy, kinky, fetish is. To me cosplay is a hobby that I have with my friends, and my sister, she's also cosplaying, so I'm not sure if I want to combine those things. Like, to me cosplay is a hobby, a fun, you know, time I can have with a lot of people, and sex is something I only do privately with one person at the time. So to me it's, I guess I could try it once, maybe if my partner really loved one of the cosplays I have and turned them on. I guess I could try it, so it's not like a hard limit, but as I said before, role-playing is not my thing. I'm not into role-playing or dressing up while having sex. So cosplaying is, you know, kind of the same thing. It's like, I would prefer to keep it separate, those 2 things, but I would be willing to try it just at least once to see what it's like. Next question is, what your favorite type of porn to watch? Gay, straight, BDSM, fetish, other? It really depends on what mood I'm in. I do like all the things you said here. Gay, straight, BDSM, fetish, and a bunch of other stuff. I would say though, it's not that often that I watch porn where there's like a lot of BDSM involved. I don't know, because I love BDSM, and to me BDSM is only a sex thing. So I don't know why, but to me, when I want to watch porn, I just want to watch someone fuck. I don't care about someone whipping and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe it's because I get turned on by that happening to me or to my partner. But seeing other people do it is like, well, what? I don't care, you know? But sex is something, I don't know how to explain it. But I do watch it a little bit sometimes, I guess, but not too much. But my favorite type of porn, I guess the thing I watch most is gangbang, even though I would never be in a gangbang ever. It's not something I'm into, but for some reason I really love watching porn. And then gay porn. I like gay porn. Or like threesomes where it's 2 girls and a guy. How often do you masturbate? It really depends. Like when I'm on my period, I don't do anything. I think I talked about this, haven't I? I don't know. Maybe I've talked about it. I have no idea. But when I'm on my period, nothing happens because, first of all, period gross me out so much. I cannot touch it or anything. It's like, new, gross. And also, I have so much pain that I'm not in the mood for anything. I'm just laying, crying, eating chocolate. I don't need anything or anyone, not even myself, to touch myself, because I'm not in the mood for that. So when I'm on my period, nothing, but otherwise, I don't know, once a day or something, sometimes twice. I guess like twice a day if we put it all together, because some days I don't do it just because I don't have the time, I'm not in the mood. Sometimes I could do it like 4 times a day, but mostly, and if you put it together, I think it's like twice a day or something. Do you shave or are you natural down there? I talked about this in another video, so I'm just quickly going to talk about it. I don't shave, and I only trim just to keep it from growing all the way down to my knees. But I don't shave or wax because, first of all, I prefer hair. I prefer having hair, and I also prefer my partners to have hair because I think it's so much sexier and more mature, because, you know, adult people have hair, so that's what turns me on. And also because I can't. The few times I've shaved or waxed down there, it's been so painful afterwards. I've had so many problems with ingrown hair and redness and bumps and just pain. So even if I did prefer having smooth down there, I wouldn't be able to do it because my skin is just too sensitive and irritated down there. So yeah, that's the 2 reasons why I don't shave. But I do trim, so it's not like it's growing out of control. I do have it under control. Any advice for people who are afraid to tell their partner about their kinks? So this is a much deeper question, I guess. And well, if you are afraid, it kind of depends on where you are in the relationship. If you recently started and you're just afraid because you're not sure if they're there or something like that, and you don't feel safe with them yet because it's still so early, I just say have patience. Just wait until you are at that place where you can trust each other 100%, and then you can tell them. If you are already in the relationship and you have been in it for a long time, or a while at least, and you don't feel like you can tell them, I'm sorry to tell you, but what kind of relationship is that? Like, to me, relationships, you have to be able to tell each other everything, no matter what it is. As I said, if you're just starting out, if you've been together for a week, I can understand that you're not fully there yet. But if you've been together long enough for you to, you know, be comfortable and trust each other and love each other, and you can't even tell them your kinks, then I don't know what to tell you. It's just, I would never want to be in that relationship, and to me it sounds like it wouldn't work out. Like, if you can't even tell them what turns you on, how can you know, have a life and a relationship with them? At least that's what it is to me. I don't know if it's just me who feels that way, but I have to be able to tell my partners every single thing about me and my life and my kinks, just everything in general. So if you can't even tell them that little thing, because what turns you on is very small compared to other big things that's going to happen in your life and your partner's life that you have to tell each other. So if you can't even tell them that small thing, I don't know, it just seems like you don't trust them enough, and maybe they're not right for you. But I don't know, give it a chance. Just tell them. Like, there's no other way to do it. I cannot give you other advice other than tell them. If you really feel so uncomfortable that you cannot tell them, then you're not in a good relationship, because then you cannot trust your partner if you don't even trust them enough to tell them this. And if you tell them and they freak out and be like, call you a freak, then you're also not in a great relationship, because then your partner is an asshole who's not even willing to try or respect what you like. And I'm not saying that your partner has to try it. I'm not saying that they has to like it themselves. But, you know, there's a difference between like, oh, okay, so I see you like that. I'm not into that, so I'm probably not going to be able to do that with you. And then like, oh my god, why do you like that? That's so weird. You're such a freak. Why do you like that? That's gross. Why would you do that? Why do you want me to do that to you? You know? That's 2 different things. If your partner is the second one, then you have to get the hell out of there. If your partner is the first one, you'll just need to talk about it. Maybe they can do a little bit, maybe you can do some to yourself, maybe you can be in an open relationship where you can find someone who can do it for you, fulfill your needs and everything. So that's basically what I have to say. Just tell them, because nothing bad can happen. the only thing that can happen is that you get out of a shitty relationship if it turns out to be that way. I don't know if that made sense or anything, but it's the best I could explain it, and I hope it helped you. Will you do a color collection video? I've actually been thinking about it. Have I told you guys that I've been thinking about it? I probably have. But I've been thinking about it because I have quite a lot recently. And yeah, maybe. I could do that, maybe. What is the most important thing in a BDSM relationship? That would be communication. If you cannot communicate, as I just said before, if you cannot even tell your partner what you like and what you don't like, it's not a good relationship. And especially when it comes to BDSM relationship, communication is so freaking important. Because, you know, it's the whole thing with safe words. Do you understand each other well enough to know when your partner is, you know, going over their boundaries or whatever you say? And do you trust each other enough to say it when they need to stop, or when they need to do something else, or tell them your kinks, what you like and stuff. So communication is the most important thing in a BDSM relationship. If you cannot communicate, then it's not a good relationship. And also, if you cannot listen, that's another thing. Because one thing is to tell your partner what you like. Another thing is to actually listen to what they have to say. Even though you may not be into it, you still have to listen to what they have to say. See if there's a way, it's kind of what I said before, but see if there's a way that they can get their needs fulfilled in another way and stuff like that. So yeah, communication is key. And the last question is, have you ever had sex when someone was in the room or could hear you? Yes, twice actually. And it wasn't when anyone was in the room. I just want to say that, because I'm so not into those kind of things. And it's also not because I wanted people to hear me when we were having sex. I don't know. I tell you the stories of the two times it happened. But I just want to say it's not because I seek it out. Like, I want people to hear me. I actually would prefer if no one could hear me, because I don't know, it's awkward to me when other people can hear me or see me or anything. But I'll tell you the stories quickly. It was, you know, both the times was with my ex-boyfriend, one of them. And the first time, it was actually the second time that we had sex, and the second time that I had sex ever. So it was still kind of new and scary. So we went to his place, and he lived in a small apartment with two other guys. But when we got there, the apartment looked empty, at least. I thought it was empty. And he didn't say, you know, one of his roommates were in the room next to the room that we were in. And he knew that, but I didn't know that. So we started having sex, and I am pretty loud when having sex. And, you know, he was very quiet when we were having sex, so maybe he just didn't think about it, that it would be a problem that his roommate was there, because it was only the second time we had sex. And I was pretty loud as always, and just having a good time, all that. And then afterwards, he was like, I feel kind of sorry for my roommate that he had to hear all of that. It must be awkward for him. And I was like, your roommate is home? What the fuck? So yeah, he didn't tell me that until afterwards. And he didn't think of telling me. It wasn't like he was mean or anything. But yeah, that was kind of awkward. Luckily, I didn't run into his roommate ever. I never met the guy, so it's fine. It's not that awkward. But still, it was a little weird. It was only like a door dividing us, so he could definitely hear everything. And then the next time it happened, I knew it, that there was another person, because let me kind of paint a picture for you. It was with the same guy, and he had moved to another place at that time, and he lived with this female roommate. And they had a living room and a bedroom. And the female roommate had the bedroom, and then he just slept in the living room. And one day I was at his place, and he had one of his friends over as well. And we all had to sleep there for some reason. And then me and my boyfriend slept in the corner on his bed, and his roommate slept in her room. And then the friend that he also was there, he slept on the couch in the same room as us. So we were like 3 people in the same room. And then early in the morning, his roommate had to leave for work. And at that time we kind of woke up because she left. And his friend sleeping on the couch, he was still sleeping. And then, you know, we started getting a little saucy. So we were getting pretty fucking horny, so, but we didn't want to have sex right there because his roommate was like right over there on the couch in the same room. So what we did was we just went into his roommate's room and just had sex there. But we did take his like a blanket to lay on, so we didn't do anything nasty on her bed. We laid on the blanket on her bed, so it wasn't gross or anything. And you know, the thing is, it was in the next room as to where his friend was, but the only thing dividing that room was these really thin glass doors. It wasn't even like a real door that actually shuts, so you kind of can't hear anything. This was like a glass door that wasn't made to divide in, you know, the sound and soundproof and everything. It was very thin and it was a glass door. It did have curtains, so it wasn't like he could look in, but we did close the curtains, but he could definitely hear a lot because it was a very thin door. And I did try keeping it down, I would say, because now I knew that he was there and he was sleeping, so it was very quiet. It was only us making some noise. It wasn't like, it was very early, so there wasn't any cars outside or anything. So I was really trying to keep it down, but it is pretty hard for me to be quiet. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to stay quiet when having sex. So even though I really tried to be quiet, I still made a lot of noise. And we never talked, like we saw him afterwards in the morning, you know, but we didn't really talk about it or anything. So it wasn't like super awkward, but yeah, that's what happened. He could definitely hear us though. So yeah, that was kind of a long explanation to that question. I just thought it would be fun to share these two stories in this Q&A now that we're here. And yeah, I would definitely prefer not to do that again. But you know, if I'm with my partner and we're freaking horny and there's another person, it's not like I minded that much. I would just prefer to keep it in quiet. But you know, it was fun. I had fun those times and it was good. So that was the Q&A, that was all the questions. Thank you guys so much for all the questions you gave me. Press the like button if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and thank you for watching.